Guys, assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel Sunny's Log. So I'm back again to take a chapter to you, that means summary to you, give a summary to you on the base of chapter Sunrise on the Hills for class plus 1 English subject English. And in that English the chapter is Sunrise on the Hills and the summary of this chapter. Okay, so I think that you all have seen my videos before. I have put in my YouTube channel. So if you did not watch, that means first you can watch that. I have put all question answers from the chapters of English textbook, so you can note it down or you can understand how to write the answers as briefly. Okay, so if anyone is there to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and please that click the bell icon to enable all notifications, so you will get the notification what when I am putting on that time itself. You will receive the notification. So please like, share and comment. You can suggest, you can tell your suggestions in your in my comment box. Okay, so that's all. So we can go to video. So let's go to video. Okay, so this is the chapter Sunrise on the Hills and it is written by H.W. Longfellow. H.W. Longfellow. And you don't know this much things, don't mind it. Okay, so first we can read one para and I'll say the what I'll say summary of this stanza. I think this much stanza, and next stanza I'll say the summary of this much stanza, and next stanza summary of that stanza. Okay, so first read and enjoy. Travel is, in fact, an eye opener. It opens up new, refreshing snapshots before us and often help us change our philosophy of life. Now read the poem Sunrise on the Hills. Sunrise on the Hills, H.W. Longfellow. Okay. So, I stood up on the hills when heaven's wide arch was glorious with the sun's returning march, and woods were brightened, and soft gales went forth to kiss their sun-clad waves. The clouds were far beneath me, bathed in light. They gathered midway round the wooded height, and in their fading glory shone like hosts in battle overthrown. As many a pinnacle with shifting glance through the grey mist thrust up its shattered lens, and rocking on the cliff was left. The dark pine blasted bare and cleft. The veil of cloud was lifted, and below glowed the rich valley, and the river's flow was darkened by the forest shade, or glistened in the white cascade. Where upward in the mellow blush of day, the noisy bittern wheeled his spiral way. This is the stanza 1. We can look the summary of this stanza 1. Okay, stanza 1. I stood up on the hills when the sky was glorious with the rays of the rising sun. The forests were brightened by the dawn. The clouds were under me. The earth birthed light and they gathered midway round the height covered with trees. This glory was fading and they looking like armies defeated in battle. As the mist cleared away in the rising sun, many peaks with their sharp spear like projections could be seen. This is the continue of this para itself. That means stanza 1 continue. Okay, don't you don't undertake that means this is another stanza. Don't, it is not. This is the same stanza for stanza 1 itself, the continuation of stanza 1. On the deep, there was a dark pine moving in the wind. It was withered, without any leaves, and was split here and there. Soon the veil of the clouds was lifted, and below I could see the rich valley. The river was flowing, and its water was sometimes darkened by the shade cast by the forest, but sometimes the water glistened in its downward flow. As the dawn broke into morning, a bittern, a bird belonging to the heron family, flew upward in a spiral way, making a loud noise. So this is the summary of, that means stanza 1 summary. Okay, so next we can go to second stanza. Okay, before that, why I am saying first reading this one and I'm saying that means the summary means, then you can first you can read this one, then when we read the stanza 1 summary, you can briefly understand that what it is saying about. I think that when I read that one, that means the summary of this first stanza, you understand that what it means, isn't it? Okay, so we can go to next stanza. I heard the distant waters dash. I saw the current whirl and flash, and richly by the blue lake's silver beach, the woods were bending with a silent reach. Then, over the vale with the gentle bell, the music of the village bell came sweetly to the echo-giving hills, and the wild horn, whose voice was woodlands fields, was rising to the merry shout. That faint and for the glen sent out, were answering to the sudden short thin smoke through thick-leaved branches from the jingle brook. So we can go to the summary of this second stanza. Stanza 2. I heard the distant waters rush. I saw the current which would and shine in the light. The lake was blue with a beach of silver sand, and near it the thick forest was bending as it reached and touched the lake. Over the valley, the gentle and melodious sound of the village bell was enjoying on the hill. The sound of the switching owl filled the forest, as if the owl was replying to me, merry but faint shout sent out by the valley. Then thin smoke started coming out from the wooded valley through the thick-leaved branches, probably from the hearts of the people living in the valley. So this is the summary of second stanza. That means a brief meaning. What we will say, a brief idea about the second stanza. So next, third stanza. If thou art one that heart beset with sorrows that thou wouldst forget, if you wouldst read a lesson that will keep the heart from fainting and soul from sleep, go to the woods and hills, no tears, dim the sweet look then that nature wears. So you can look the summary of this third stanza. So stanza 3. If you're tired and had trouble with problems and sorrows that you want to forget. Okay, I think you can understand me. If you want to read a book that will prevent your heart from losing hope and wake up your soul with optimism, you should go to the forest and hills. The sweet look that nature has is not dimmed by tears of any kind. So this is a summary of third. Okay, that means third stanza summary. So if you want glossary means you can note it down. Okay, that means snapshots, pictures, chitrangal, woods, forest, card, gales, winds, kachi. That means gales meaning is winds. So means winds meaning word is kachi. Okay, sun clad dotted by sunlight, സൂര്യപ്രകാശം കൊണ്ട് നിറഞ്ഞ. Veils, valleys, താഴ്വരകൾ. Fading, becoming weak, ക്ഷയിക്കുക, we will say no, ക്ഷയിക്കുക. Pinnacle, peak, കൊടുമുടി. Glance, look, നോട്ടം. Shattered, broken, തകരുക. Lance, spear, കുന്തം. Blasted, destroyed, നശിപ്പിച്ചു. Bare, empty, naked, നഗ്നമായ. Cleft, split, പൊളിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുക. Cascade, waterfall, വെള്ളച്ചാട്ടം. Mellow, smooth and sad, മാർദ്ദവമായ. Bittern, a bird of the heron family, ഒരു പക്ഷി. Spiral, going round and round, കറങ്ങി പോവുക. Horn, screeching owl, മൂങ്ങ. Okay, so this is the glossary of this chapter. So if you want means you can note it down. So when we know this much glossary of this chapter, we will surely understand that what is this means. Okay, what our poem is telling about. Okay. So this much only our today's class. That means the meaning summary of Sunrise on the Hills, and it is written by H.W. Longfellow. So that's all. I think that you all understood my class on today, and if you have any doubt means you can comment down in my comment box. Okay, if you have any suggestions also you can comment down in my comment box, and please subscribe to my channel. Okay, then I also will be happy, you also will be happy, I think so. Okay, so that's all. So please subscribe to my channel, please share to your friends, family, etc. Okay, so that's all. See you next video. Till that, bye bye.